All right, people, we are right back to it with FPL Spring 2024, Week 3, going up against the Chiyu Cooks, coached by Oro. We are once again still telling the story of the Spheal Aficionados, coached by Xzeroxman. And our first game is always is going to be OU. We got BeastJohn versus VoltTurn, aka Psycho Flicker. Let's check out what happens here. We've got the Volcarona hat, pretty standard. They've got Hisuian Arcanine, which is interesting. I don't think E-Speed's going to do a lot this game for him, though. But, you know, the typical Rillaboom, Torn, Great Tusk. Zamazenta is interesting, though. You got to be careful about the Zamazenta. With that being said, let's get into it and see what happens. So we've got what are frogs? We got the Frogman, the grass type Heatran, immediately burns the Terra straight off the bat. I was like, yo, well, this is great because now nothing else can Terra. So obviously Glamora being this low does suck. We do manage to get up some rocks, which could easily be spun away by the Tusk. So losing Glamora does suck, but the Terra being gone from their side is incredible. So immediately we're just able to get off a Mighty Cleave. There's not really a whole lot of switch-ins to this thing. Get up an SD versus the Heatran. Goes for the Magma Storm and misses, which does suck, but now we're going to be able to get off a big Mighty Cleave attack here. Goes for Magma Storm the second time. As you can see, though, this Heatran has not really beaten this Iron Boulder. I'm not sure. They had Earth Power. I'm not sure why they didn't go for it. Maybe they thought we'd switch, but after that other SD, you would have thought maybe they'd go for Earth Power the next turn. But either way, Volcarona can easily come in on this monkey, and it is going to indeed get burned on the first turn, which is great. Great for us, anyways. Zamazenta comes in now, gets the defense boost, as go for the Quiver Dance here, get the max. Or not max special attack, get +1 special attack and speed. Does a decent chunk to this Zamazenta, because obviously we just want to weaken it for our other mons. That way this Hatterene can start putting in work. I'm telling you, this Hatterene just keeps going in. Not sure why they didn't Terra immediately there, maybe just scouting for the Heavy Slam. They do Terra now, though, so that way we'll be able to eat up the next hit. Go for the Draining Kiss, take this thing out, get a lot of HP back, and we're getting lefties. Of course, the Grassy Terrain's gone now, though, but you know. So now here, this monkey can clearly just destroy us with a Wood Hammer. So sack off Iron Boulder. Its booster is already gone. It's not like it does much versus this Great Tusk anyways. So the Roaring Moon can now come in, though. Get the Photosynthesis attack. Get up a DD versus this thing. Which keeps on spamming Wood Hammer. It is doing a good chunk, but because it's burned, we are able to tank it decently well. And now at this point, you know, with the 1.3 boost from the Photosynthesis and the +1, I mean, Roaring Moon is an absolute monster. Not only that, we're getting free recovery too, as this thing is not boots. I'm not sure if that's banded, it might be, but E-Speed is not going to do enough to Roaring Moon, as now all that they have left is this Great Tusk, which I'm not sure what we have, if we can go for. We do have Acrobatics, but we're not Terra, obviously, so not quite able to get the kill, but this thing is so low to the point where. And we actually kept up rocks the whole game, nice. Yeah, to where Hat can live any hit that this thing wants to go for, and then just hit him with a nice little Draining Kiss to finish the game. So that's going to be first victory for the Spheal Aficionados. Then we're going to go right into RU with my game versus LukeAron. Now, I kind of just wanted to use the power of Necrozma, because in this draft league that I'm in, basically the kill leader has been Necrozma. So I was like, you know what? Necrozma's allowed in this tier. I want to try it out. Of course, we still got the Mimikyu. Not going to lie, my opponent for the previous 2 weeks had always been using Kleavor and just leading off with it. So I was like, you know what? This is a good opportunity to try out Fortress in the tier, see how it's still doing, because I can just Gyro Ball it. Although, honestly, looking back, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't even have a relaxed nature with 0 speed IVs. So my Gyro Ball wasn't doing quite as much as it should, but we'll see that it's, at least in this first matchup, it's not going to matter too much. So they go right for an SD, which is kind of crazy up against a sturdy fortress. They do miss the Stone Ash, which really sucks for them, I'm not going to lie. I think they might have been Sash. I'm pretty sure they lived the Gyro Ball no matter what. But it's just interesting. It did a little bit less. So the Stone Axe would have done a good chunk to me, but I would have knocked them out in return. The only thing to keep in mind was my Fortress would have been a lot lower. So my red card is going to activate, send in this Rever Room. I can get the Shadow Claw off on the Rever Room now, because I don't want them to try to shift gear for free, of course. Because my Fortress is still so bulky, or it still has so much HP, I can easily come in on this thing now, though. Takes a nice Rocky Helmet chip, goes for high horsepower, continues to take Rocky Helmet chip, and now I go for the Gyro Ball. That is easily going to be in range. They actually go for a shift gear one more time, which is kind of crazy considering they die to the next hit. They still don't knock me out, and I'm able to get up rocks and spikes. Of course, this Blastoise is their only wrap. Oh wait, no, they have this thing which can tidy up. But they go for the Shell Smash, and I was a little bit afraid of this thing. But I designed this Thunder specifically to counteract anything that this Blastoise wanted to do. They go for the Ice Beam on me. I'm Terra Water. We're able to tank that, just go for a nice big T-Bolt and get rid of the Blastoise. So we're looking pretty solid. Zarude comes in now. I still have this Fortress, which can force it to take some Rocky Helmet chip. They go for the Trailblaze. Doesn't even kill me. They do get +1 speed, but I have a Scarf Zapdos in the back, although I think, yeah, they're still going to be a little bit faster than me. But I don't think they can really touch me. So we can go Zapdos. The best thing to go for is Rock Slide. We eat that up, by the way, as we can just U-turn out. These are the only two mons they have left. Necrozma comes in, and Mimikyu is going to take a pretty good amount of chip. And because they go for the SD, I went for the safest play. I'm just going to go straight for this Photon Geyser, because this was actually a roll, not going to lie. I think it did like minimum 70 something. But they go for the tidy up there now. As the Photon Geyser comes off, it's going to do a heck of a lot. But even at this point, Necrozma should still be able to tank this hit. They do get a crit there, but it's not going to be enough for Necrozma, showing just how bulky this thing is. But what I was trying to say about the Mimikyu was the Photon Geyser is like its own little mini mold breaker, which is what I was going for to counteract Mimikyu. Because they can just go right through that disguise. And either way, we figured out that as long as we go for the Photon Geyser, even if we don't get the roll that we need, they're going to die to the disguise break. So that was the plan there. So that's GG's to my opponent, LukeAron. We can get into the next. Obviously, though, that Stone Axe missed a lot for them, because then Fortress was able to wall off the Rever Room and everything. But you know, it's just one of those things. That's why I personally don't run Cleavor and Stone Axe, because I'm afraid of exactly what happened there. Either way, though, let's get into the next game. Here we have the NU game. We've got oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. We got Will Schwilliam for our team going up against SvelteSnake. We've got a lot of mons that I love to use. Look at the Sylveon and Mew. Young Swampert over there too. Dragal. Adaptability Skrelp. But on our side, we've also got a lot of cool mons I like. Lycanroc Dusk, Noivern, Slowbro. Some mons I've used in draft. We've also got this nice and powerful Goodra. Paparaj could be cool too. So let's get into it. So, we're going to lead off with the Noivern versus a Swampert. Umbreon can easily tank any hits they want to go for. And look, that's definitely got to be Specs Hurricane, right? I mean, to do that much, and the fact that they just went for it off the rip. So they go for the foul play. Still does a heck of a lot to Infernape. That just goes to show that Infernape does not have the best defenses. So clearly, physically offensive Infernape if it's doing that much. Get a crit on the U-turn. Does 1,000,000%. As Lycanroc comes in, goes for the foul play. Oof, yeah, that was not a switch in, but they don't really have a lot of switch ins to foul play, honestly. At least ones that would beat the Umbreon in turn. Go for the CC. Not going to do enough to this Swampert, though, even with the Life Orb SD Tough Claws. As Swampert, although it is very low at the very least. as now the adaptability sculpt is going to come in, going to knock off the lefties as it just drops the Draco. Crit Draco. This is has to be Assault Vest Gudra. As the Gudra is able to in kind knock out the adaptability scroll. Mew comes in now, Mr. VoltTurn over there, as they are going to now go for the body press, do 1,000,000%. Goes for the taunt though. This Iron Defense body press Mew is looking a bit dangerous, not gonna lie. Slowbro comes in. Is it Rocky Helmet? Doesn't look like it. Umbreon comes in on this thing. Gets a nice Scald off. The Synchronize could be a little bit unfortunate though on the Slowbro because that would rule it down as well. But they do get the body press crit. Dang, that's crazy. I don't know if that mattered or not. I know it would have done a good chunk. That might have been a roll. I'm not sure. You know, I'm just used to anytime I get a crit, I just feel bad. So this Mew is continuing to set up iron defenses as goes with the para. It's the Synchronize off on this thing now. Wyvern comes in, gonna just keep on setting up with his Demon Mew set. Wyvern goes for the switcheroo though to lock it into a move, but it's too late as now it has already been tricked at choice specs. So now at this point, although hang on, the Terra Dark Copperaja, hang on though. So now that at least this Mew can't set up anymore. This is fantastic. That's one of those plays where the inflection point was crazy. Because this Mew could have just absolutely gone in versus this team. Although it was paralyzed, so it would have had to deal with that. But now, this Mew can no longer set up, which is great. So as long as you can try to beat down these other guys. This Swampert is low. This guy's low. They do have a full health Sylveon, though, which could be tough. Especially now that this guy's Terra Dark. Go for the body press, though. Maybe Slowbro can manage to find a way to beat that thing. They do get full para, though. A little bit unfortunate there. Not sure what they're going to go for. Goes for the knock. Gets rid of the boots. Boots don't really matter in this case, though. Go for the Scald, and you're able to take out this Swampert. Now this pesky Sylveon comes in. Terra Fairy. If that thing's choice specs, yeah, that thing might just take out the Slowbro right here and now. Copperage is going to come in. I know for a fact this thing's faster. Yeah, I don't think this Infernape has anything that can take this thing out, honestly. They are going to sack off the Mew just to see what they go for. I'll be honest, though, I think Flare Blitz might kill Flygon from there if they're banded. Oh, there's the first impression, though. The Flare Blitz should kill, though. So this is all going to come down to if this Flare Blitz kills. So we'll see. It probably does not. Oh, but they have the quick attack. That's what they were going for. Okay, so that's why they were. I was gonna say because they were doing all that switching just to get to the same position, but they had that quick attack at the end. So then they had some tech. That was crazy. So I'm not for certain if that was choice specs or not. It might have been, but either way though, that's gonna be the Inu game. Now we'll move on to the Little Cup game. So we have Mortagon versus Oro over here. I'm telling you, it seems like this is like the same team we used last week. Well, I don't think we had Marini ourselves, but I know we had Mienfoo, Volibee, and oh no, we didn't have Voltorb. The other team had Voltorb. We had Cyndaquil. So a little bit different. All these four mods are different, but I mean, Mienfoo, Volibee is pretty standard, I guess. I'm telling you. Little Cup is like a whole other universe down here. That being said, we're going to see lead Voltorb versus the lead Stunky. Does this thing get T-Spikes or something like that? That'd be cool if it did. They're going to scout over there, see what we go for the Volt Switch. So you know for sure this thing isn't choiced at least. I'm assuming... Oh, they go for the Gunk Shot. They do get the Poison though, which is always cool. But this Mudbray could be dangerous. Maybe you go... They go into their own Mudbray to try to get a stamina boost. This looks like a good opportunity to get a proc. Now that this thing's poisoned, your Mudbray should be able to beat it, even though they already got a stamina boost. There is the rocks. Usually these things don't have defog. I feel like they're like a Nasty Plot set or some type of Brave Bird set with weak armor. Opposing Voltorb comes back in, goes to the Volt Switch, just absolutely nothing because it's quad resisted. As Mienfoo comes in now. Get some fake out ship. I'm not sure if these things are static or not. Or maybe they're aftermath. I'm not sure what the standard set is, but a little bit scary if they got staticked. The Snubble comes in with the Intimidate. Snubble's cool. Go for the U-turn, get some nice regen. Marini is always an answer to this thing, so you're pretty solid. Opposing Manfu comes in. I'm not sure what this can do to it, though. T-Spikes go up, which is massive, you know, for all those, anything that's grounded. Get the U-turn off as VoltTurn comes in. Gonna get that nice little poison off. As, go for the sucker. So this thing should be dead to poison, I think. Well, either way, now it's dead to rocks, though, so you're good. So, a little bit of a sacrifice there, but Donkey being gone is great. And now, their own VoltTurn comes in. Goes for the Protect. You may as well if you've got it. You know, they're gonna get chipped by poison. They should be in range of a Giga Drain for sure. With some more recovery. As now the Snubble is going to come in. Also get poisoned. Everything getting poisoned on the opposing side is absolutely massive. And you know what you do? You just go right back out into Marini. No reason not to, from my perspective. They go for the Play Rough. Marini's absolutely going to eat that up. Continues to get poison shipped. They actually tear into a Steel type on the Sludge Bomb, but that's great to get the Terra out of the way. The Para coming off against the Marini, which does suck, but not the worst thing in the world. Much better this than the Mienfoo. Does get the full Para, which is a little bit unfortunate. They're going to switch out into Mudbray. So, solid safe switch to get the stamina boost and not have to worry about getting paralyzed. As this Snubble is going to be almost dead to poison here pretty soon. They actually go for a Heavy Slam straight away. This thing must be super slow to still be outsped by this thing. Like we said, dies to rocks. Totodile comes in. Could be scary if it gets up a DD. They're going to go for the EQ right off the bat. Yep, like I said, they're going to DD. You have Protect on this thing, and you already have a defense boost. And that Earthquake did a pretty good chunk. Oof, but they do get the crit. I'm not sure how much that mattered. I guess they didn't want to Protect and let this thing continue to get up more Dragon Dance boost. So, go for the flinch there. Poison. This thing's almost dead. Switch into Marini every single time, of course, to tank those water type attacks. And there's the next poison to take it out. So now Marini can always switch out here and get up some regen. No, I'm not sure who he would switch into. Yeah, they're just going to sack it off at this point. Perhaps bring in, the VoltTurn to deal with this pesky Volibee. Bring in Mienfoo now. This is a dangerous endgame, but at the very least, Mortagon has more sacks. So when you're up in sacks the endgame, that's always great. It's like, being up in pawns and chess. So now at this point, they go for the U-turn. I'm assuming, they're not, are they Overcoat maybe? I don't know. So that they don't get the weak armor. Go with the Brave Bird once again. So I guess this isn't like one of those offensive sets. This is more so like support maybe. At this point, though, all that's left is the Mienfoo. No more regen for this thing. They go for HJK. Obviously going to take this thing out. But they do have their own Mienfoo, which can fake out at the end. Of course, this thing, oof, the Terra Blast. I was saying they haven't Terra this entire time, but that's great to save that for the end game for that pesky Mienfoo. So yeah, there you go. So that makes us now 3 wins versus 1. All right, so here we are in the Ubers tier now. We got Shieldpoke versus Genesis. I feel like the same with the look of, it's like you got the Koraidon, of course, you gotta run him. You gotta run the Calyrex. You gotta bring the Zacian and the Flutter, Pretty standard from Shieldpoke over here. We've also got this Basket Legion over here, who I believe Last Respects might have still been legal at this point. I can't remember for sure, though, but I want to say I saw this game, too. I didn't see that Little Cup game, though. I've seen some of the games that have happened this week. But Grimmsnarl is going to come in versus Zacian at +1. Get up a Reflect right off the bat. SD up is crazy. +3 now. The miss on the T-Wave. Oof, that's massive. That is massive. At this point, though, Arceus Ground is going to come in. They Terra Fight. Go for Behemoth Blade to be able to tank the hit. You may as well try to tank anything this one wants to go for. Go for +1 EQ is not able to take it out. CC will manage to take it out because, Behemoth Blade is 100. Close Combat's 120. Go for the Wild Charge on this thing, and Zacian is just going in. That recoil will definitely take you out, though. Although that Zacian really put in work, I will say. The fact they didn't get buried, massive. But I feel like Shieldpoke was plagued by Thunderwave in some of their previous games, so having them not have to worry about that this game, I'm sure they were relieved about that. Sunsteel Strike from this Necrozma is going to take out the Miraidon. But at this point, the Calyrex is looking pretty darn solid. The Sunsteel Strike is a little scary, but Calyrex is stupidly bulky and it's able to take it out. The Reflect ends at the perfect time, allowing the Calyrex to now be... And you know, if you get a Calyrex in Trick Room, it's basically Jover. I'm not going to lie. This thing's +1. You just Glacial Lance, and you're good. They do get the defense boost, though, in the terrain. And with the Terraghost, that is able to tank it, as now Electro Gif's able to take that thing out. If you just go Necrozma here, it was going to be faster for the next 2 turns. And you do have the Photon Geyser, which is also going to be super effective on the Koraidon. So this is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good for the Spheal Aficionados, I'm not going to lie. It does suck for our opponent that they missed that Thunderwave turn 1. But, you know, that's Pokemon for you. So, you know, Shieldpoke made a gamble SDing turn 1 in front of a Grimmsnarl and paid off. Alright, so now we are going to get into our Randbats games. We got Pokevpokevin versus Spazime. I feel like I've definitely played Spazime a couple times, at least once. Maybe very early on. Not sure if they remember me, but I remember playing them. So now we are going to Pikachu with the, not sure, the Kalos hat. I love the Kalos hat, just because I love Kalos. They got the Arceus Bug going to come in on the Fake Out, as the Volt Tackle does a good chunk. Not quite enough, though. They do go for the Judgment. That's easily going to be able to take out this Pikachu, unfortunately. Geez, like a 20 level difference. That's insane. The Judgment comes off versus this Miracle. Webs being up are huge. You know, I feel like odds of having a Rapid Spinner or a Defogger on your team is pretty low. Or I don't know, maybe they make it to where the algorithm is like, hey, try to put on a Rapid Spinner or a Defogger, because the odds of like having a Hazard set are pretty low too. Well, actually, it's probably a lot more common to have a Rocker. Either way, though, Knockoff is going to come through on this Palossand versus this Mesprit. They're going to Psychic Noise. Did they go for Shore Up? They did, so that does suck for the Palossand, though. As another Psychic Noise is going to take it out to this Mesprit, one of you wanting this Palossand very easily. We gotta wonder, what do they have in them? They have a Brambleghast, though, so that's going to go straight for the Poltergeist and immediately take this thing out, which is incredible. Psychic Terrain is gone, which is pretty cool. If the Brambleghast want to go for Sneak, they can't go for on the Maushold, obviously, but they can get this thing real low before it goes for a Tidy Up. So there's their hazard removal, the Tidy Up Maushold. Let's go for the Terra Steel. They just go for Bite. Interesting. So they probably knew that they were going to go for Bite. I don't think Bramble could have lived it. And now at this point, the Arceus is... Wait, it should have been able to live it. If the Bite only did like less than half, then it should have been able to live it at full. But either way, Brambleghast is able to take out the Arceus there, although Bramble is quite low. They have Slacking in the back. Go Indeedee. You know that this Slacking is only going to do something in 1 turn. Turn 1 takes out the Indeedee. Goes for the Double Edge. So now Bramble can come back in. They're going to switch it out into Lapras. Strength Sap is massive, though, to get healing on this Bramble, though. As go for the Power Up on this thing. Just 1,000,000%. The Lapras is not going to... Ooh. But the fact that it might not be weak to ice, but it's no longer resistant to water is huge. But they are able to take out the Lapras with the Poltergeist. Continues to heal up with the lefties. Slacking is back in, though, and it's going to go for Earthquake. So it all comes down to what is Pokevin's last Pokemon. It's Chi-Yu! Just hiding a casual Chi-Yu in the background. Now, last month's Necrozma, so oof, they do miss the Will-O-Wisp, though, but maybe they can just fire off a Dark Pulse after this Nasty Plot. They go for Earthquake, and oof, that's just going to take it out with the Necrozma. So, that's game 1. Let's check out game 2. You know, thankfully these things are best of 3. You know, they're not just gonna... You know, if you're playing Randbats, you know, it would suck to just lose based off of, like, what you have. And with that, we're now going to get into game number 2. So, lead Grumpig versus this Drifblim. As Hopa Unbound comes out. That's pretty crazy. It should be able to tank it decently well. It has decent Spadef, but it does get a Spadef drop, unfortunately. Hoopa can probably just fire off maybe a Hyperspace Fury here, yeah. I'm not, that doesn't look quite banded to me. So I don't think Vespogon has the best, maybe, I don't know, maybe depending on the sets. Well, let me see. Oh, 98 okay, that's 100% banded because that's almost a 20 level difference. I forgot about that. By the way, knockoff comes off versus Grumpig. Gonna Volt Switch out of there. Brings in the Drift Blim once again. Goes to the Shadow Ball. Interested that this is the switch in. Because, yeah, I mean, they can go for Shadow Ball. Do a good chunk. You can go back out into this every single time, though. And just keep firing off Choice Band, Hyperspace Series. Oh, every time I think it, every time I see something that can hacks, it's like, man, I just think about the fact that it can hacks and it happens. So, you can't get off the Hyperspace Fury, and this Hoopa is quite low, so I don't think you can switch into a Shadow Ball. But the Zebstrika is going to switch out and get another Pokemon in. They can bring in the Hoopa safely now, though, is the good thing. So Hyperspace here is going to do a lot, but, you know, there's a 12 level difference, so it's not going to do enough. The Apple Acid is finally going to take out this Hoopa, which was unfortunate because it was kind of going in versus their team. But they have a Cloyster. Oof. So they force him to Terra. So Thick Fat plus the Steel. Yeah, this thing is easily going to tank all of these hits. And yeah, they're just going to recover up, man. But now you know that they've used their Terra. They bring in the Grumpig on the Dragon Pulse. I'm not sure what they can do to this Appleton, though. This is going to be tough. It depends on what these last two Mons are. So they bring it in. They keep going on this Grumpig. I guess maybe whatever they have. They don't have any other good switch-ins to Shadow Ball, I guess. Or maybe they want to keep it secret. You know, that's always fair. The pro strat in Randbats is don't reveal your Pokemon. And they reveal the Necrozma here as they reveal Screamtail. So yeah, I guess that, you know, not particularly a great switch into Shadow Ball. But Screamtail's going to wall off the Zamazenta as they go for the Thunder Wave on the Zebstrika. I want to say that reveals maybe that there's Sap Sipper. The fact that it didn't show the ability there. I would assume that would go first before the fact that it's an electric type. But they go for the Para here. Nice, man. If it goes for Tail Glow, oof. This could be interesting. This could be interesting. I don't think they have Terra'd yet either. So they get the Para, unfortunately. But this thing is no longer resistant to water type attacks. The Apple Acid is going to go off there. They don't go for the Terra. As, yeah, it does a good chunk, but, you know, there's a big level difference between these two, and Appleton is no slouch. So when that's F drop, it's easily going to take it out with Dragon Pulse. Zebstrika is their answer to this, apparently, as Screamtail comes in. Goes by horsepower, okay, that's fair. Although I feel like probably lives it from there because it's not Stab, and Zebstrika is not the strongest mon, but it is Life Orb, so maybe they do a good chunk. But, oof. It looks like it's going to come down to... So they actually Terra Ground. They had Terra Ground the entire time, and they've been waiting to use it? Okay. Oof. So Pokevin, the master of saving their tech until the very end when they know that they have a good chance. That's fair. You know, don't let your opponent... They get 2 Shell Smashes off, just to be sure. Okay. Terra Ground, Terra Blast is absolutely going to destroy this Appleton. Oh, they don't... This thing gets Drill Run? I didn't know this thing got Drill Run now. That's crazy. That's massive. So they go with the Icicle Spear. The last mon they had was Venomoth. That's easily going to take it out. And yeah, I guess Drill Run plus Icicle Crash or Icicle Spear. They didn't even go for it. I guess that's fair because I think Drill Run can miss. So just go for it. If it can kill, then you can take it out and not risk missing because this is a huge game at this point. As we're going to game 3, baby. So Pokevin's brought it back here. As now we move on to game number 3. Let's see what we got. So, full lead matchup for us as they're switching as a Love Disc. For not looking too great. They have an Iron Leaves too. It's crazy. They go for some. I'm not sure what this Love Disc is going to do besides. Yeah, I mean, the only way for this thing to do anything is to start whirlpooling and trying to do something to get some chip off on stuff. Do you have Protect or something on this thing? They are faster, so they go for another substitute because what's this thing's level? Oh, I think this thing is just straight level 100. Yeah, I mean it has to be. So because that level difference, this thing is going to be quite a bit faster. They're going to switch out now. This Iron Leaves has been quite weakened. I mean, they're just going to go Salazzle here, so U-turn is probably the safest play here. As I actually go for knock, you know what, that's fair. Knock this thing off, get it nice and chipped. I guess you can just go back out and love this and sack it off. Or go Skuntank. Eat up a little bit. They go for another Flamethrower. If you could take out the Salazzle, though. Not quite, but maybe they have Sucker. Did you go for Sucker? I was worried maybe they go for the Corrosion Toxic, but I guess it was a 50-50 and it worked out. So now that the Salazzle's gone, Pokevin has these 2 Steel types, which are absolutely going to put him away. That reflected, not save this Grimmsnarl. This Copperage just said, no sir, you're getting taken out right now. So All Creamy comes in for the Terra Fight. Iron Leaves, not bad. You know, I fought a Terra Fighting Iron Leaves myself back in draft when it was legal, and I tell you what, that thing was busted. Cinccino's going to come in on the recover. All Creamy's looking nice. As Copperage is going to come in on the Tail Slap. I was hoping maybe there was a chance this thing would be Rocky Helmet, but not so, not so. I guess that's fair. Not sure what this thing is, though, at this point. I don't know if it's Sheer Force Life Orb or not. I don't think so with Heavy Slam, but there's a very good chunk. Oh yeah, it can't be with Heavy Slam because it doesn't have any additional effects. So, well, it's probably Assault Vest. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I used to run that a lot myself. Gets the crit, Heavy Slam, and takes out the Cinccino there. As this Reflect is almost gone, but not quite. So Iron Leaves comes in. As Scizor's going to come in now. Go for the Bullet Punch. Not going to do a whole lot. But once this Reflect goes down, yeah, I don't know if you have SD or not. I guess they don't, considering they haven't gone for it. SD would have been pretty cool here. But they're just going to keep on spamming Bullet Punch, which is fair. This Iron Leaves can't touch this Scizor, which is fantastic. As Rampardos comes in now. On the Bullet Punch is 1,000,000%. As Fire Punch comes through and takes it out. So yeah. Love this comes in though. As this is not, I know this can't be Rampardos because I just saw this thing go for an actual Rampardos move. So this is in fact a Zoroark being revealed here. As goes for the Terra Steel, saving the Terra right until the very end to be able to tank this hit and go for the Alluring Voice. We still haven't seen this last Pokemon. Not sure what it is, but Rampardos comes in. And yeah, it should be able to take out with Earthquake, so we should see what this last Pokemon is, because I'm kind of interested. It's a Breloom! Let's go! So that's a nice easy Mach Punch to end the game. So, that's going to be GG's. So, if I'm not mistaken, we won OU, RU, Little Cup, Ubers, and now we just won VGC. No, not VGC. We just won Randbats. Although I will say, I think I might have skipped over the Nat Dex game. I'm so sorry, Xzeroxman. Yeah, not sure how I managed to skip over the Nat Dex game, but here we are. We've got Xzeroxman versus Ricard, aka CaptinRicard. Very similar to Captain Beanard. But, with that being said, we've got this nice and powerful little Urshifu, a little Ninetales team, very powerful, versus this Mega Lopunny squad over there. I do love me some Mega Lopunny. So, let's get into it. So we got the lead Lando versus the Tapu Koko. And that's going to get intimidated. They bring in the Lando, as it's going to intimidate our Lando, sorry. Goes for rocks, we get the taunt off. As knocks off the Skill Sarf, so pretty much reveals the explosion, but we're going to go for it anyways now. Might as well. As our Ninetales comes in. Ninetales can put in some work versus Ogerpon. As goes for the Aurora Veil here. Versus the Slowking. Brings in Chomps, that's going to scare everything out except for this Landers, which is fairly low. So, you can get up an SD here, and that would be pretty cool, not going to lie, to try to tank these things out. They actually go for the Mega into the SD here. This is going to be super bulky behind this Aurora Veil. Get the Scale Shot off, as they only get 2 hits. That really sucks, not going to lie, as the Defog is going to come off and get rid of our Aurora Veil. Yeah, that's the thing about Scale Shot. You know, if you're not loaded dice, it sucks. But, either way, we do have +2 speed at least, and we're still +1. They go for the Terra Ice actually with the Sash in addition to that, and Terra Blast Ice going to take out our Garchomp. So this is a situation where if we could get up the three layers of or the three scale shots off there, then we would have kept up our rocks, and the Iron Bolt wouldn't have been a problem. But you know, there's been some situations in the previous games where our opponents might have felt that they got hacked. So, uh, hack swings both ways. It's one of those things. Urshifu comes in now on the T-Spikes. As I'm going to tear a steel on this thing. Go for the Trailblaze. Because the whole thing is, if you can be able to get up... I don't think we have any hazard, although unfortunately. But if you can get this thing set up, though, that would be massive. They are going to chilly out into young Iron Boulder over here, who, I guess we don't have priority. So we're going to have to switch out here on this Iron Boulder. Some Stealth Rocks would be massive, but unfortunately our Rocker is gone. As the Photosynthesis Raging Bolt comes in on the future sight, which does suck. Getting quite low there. But at least we don't have to worry about future sight on Urshifu because it's Terra Steel. I guess we don't have Aqua Jet. That's unfortunate. Would have been cool for this thing. As Ninetales is but I guess we do have SD Trailblaze, so that's why. Because you gotta have Surging Strikes and CC. Either way, this low pony is gonna come in. Raging Bolt's gonna be the sacrificial lane here. Gets faked out. So we've got, unfortunately, we're down to 3 Pokemon versus 5, which does suck, although 1 is at 1%. So if we just manage to force them to sack it off. They go out in a Glow King here on the Grassy Glide. It's just one of those 50-50s. We want to be in a position where we can get in the Urshifu and get up 2 Trailblazes. If we can get 2 Trailblazes off, we basically win. Low Pony comes back in. If we can get this Aurora Veil off, that would be pretty nice. They are going to go for the fake out. Our goal here is to get it, although I think the snow's gone now, which does suck. So sack off Ninetales to this Low Pony, because now we can finally be in. Oh wait, so Ogerpon comes in. I think we just U-turn, and just take this thing out. So they just sacked it off, which was incredible for us, So now Urshifu is in. This was our entire plan at this point. Our win con is get Urshifu in and get set up. Although our sacks are dwindling. Although they just lost one, which was massive. So another 50-50 here. Do you Grassy Glide? Do you U-turn? They end up going out to Iron Boulder. Sack this thing off, which was massive. Not sure why they did that either. Because that was the whole reason we needed to get... I think... no, we just need to get to +1 versus this Low Pony. But that will be very tough. They do go for the fake out. The terrain will not save us from that. Although at this point, they go straight for the CC and just take us out. Yeah, that's one of those things. I think we were like, hey, if we can get the Urshifu set up with a Trailblaze, we win. But it's like, well, we can't because the Low Pony's in. So yeah, unfortunately, we just ran out of sacks. Just one of those things. But that's the Nat Dex game. We've gone through every single game at this point, if I'm not mistaken, except for VGC, of course. Let's see if I've got too many tabs open here, but let me see if I can go through them. So we won OU, we won RU, we lost NU, we won Little Cup, we lost Nat Dex, that's 3-2. We won Ubers, and we won Randbats. So that's 5 wins versus 2 losses. So Knicknom can rest easy this week, thankfully, because you'll see later on that they're not going to be they're going to have to carry the burden. But for now, let's get into it. So Knicknom is running this nice, fun Indeedee plus Expanding Force Articuno team, and also full disclosure, I should say at this point as well, that because we had already gotten 5 wins, that I believe the U game, we just got a forfeit win. I think that it was like, hey, we already lost, I'm not going to play the game, so, fair. Or, yeah. So no U this week. Let's move on now to VGC. Like I said, we got Expanding Force, let's call it Galarian Articuno. It is a little tough going into this T-Tar, but we'll see what we can do. So, The T-Tar Sand extra drill team is a little scary. They lead Gyarados versus and T-Tar versus us, which just suck getting intimidated off on their hands. But you know, that's okay. Bring in Incineroar immediately, get these guys intimidated, return the favor, get Flutter Mane in, as they're actually going to go for Taunt onto the Incineroar. Go for the Drain Punch, which is fair. As we now know that they have Flare on that side. They Terra Grass immediately, so this thing is now weak to Flare Blitz though, which is nice. Gonna go for the Detect. Actually go for the Dragon Shear on this Raging Bolt, which is very scary. They do knock off the Scope Lens at least, so now it's only a 50% chance of Draco's critting, but you know, 50% chance is pretty high in Pokemon. You know, you think about it. Yeah, there's the crit, you know. In terms of missing moves, you know, you always want them to be 100%, so a 90% accurate move is trash, but additional effects happening 50% of the time, that's huge. So Lando comes in, they're going to go for the Protect, they're Terra Grass on this thing, they get the turn right though, they go for the Sludge Bomb on the Gyarados and get rid of that thing. So it's not looking too bad here, they've got the +1 attack from the SD. Flutter Mane is going to be a problem though. They do go for the Terra Fire, which is nice. That's very beautiful. Icy Wind does not quite take out the Lando, as because of the speed drop though, they are going to then come in with Raging Bolt. Yeah, man, Icy Wind Flutter's massive for helping out Raging Bolt. I should have tried that out at Orlando. Wild Charge is unfortunately going to cause the Iron Hands to go down there, as now it's just this T-Tar that's left with the Incineroar and the Lando. Unfortunately, this thing is stuck at this minus speed stat. Gonna go for the Rock Slide, you know, standard set, safe play. Goes for the knockoff, is able to get rid of the Assault Vest. I'm not sure if this thing is faster or not here, but getting rid of the Assault Vest is huge. And there, hey, look, I took out the T-Tar. Look at that. Knicknom got that dub. So I just had to make sure that there was this game one, because I thought maybe we lost the first game. Okay, no. I guess my memory just is false, so. Alright, so now coming into game 2, let's see what happened differently this game. Beat Iron Hands and Incineroar. You know, Knicknom's probably feeling pretty decent about themselves. They know what to expect. They know that this thing is going to be Dragon Shear in the back. Go straight for the Moonblast and bring this Iron Hands down to 1%. Double down on the Iron Hands immediately. So that really sucks. That Iron Hands was is very useful for that T-Tar. We have our own Flutter Mane this game, which is nice though. So you can go for the Moonblast onto this T-Tar. We know it's Assault Vest though, so it's going to do absolutely nothing. As the para goes off on the Flutter, which absolutely sucks. This Gyarados is intimidating Parting Shot, so it's not going to do anything. The Lando is in. It does not currently have a speed drop, which is great. These guys are super intimidated. Goes for the Nasty Plot actually. Lando is able to tank that. Goes for the knockoff though. Even with all those attack drops, they're still doing a lot to Lando. But Lando's +2 now, so it can absolutely annihilate anything that wants to come in. Goes for the Terra Poison. Goes for the Sandsear Storm. Misses, but does hit on the Flutter Mane, which is massive. Waterfall comes through, and because of the Terra, it is able to live. Knocks them off. Gets rid of the Covert Cloak, but at this point, if they have that extra drill in the back, that could be scary. Up there's the drill. So they go for the Terra Dragon. Protect on the Lando, try to stall out these Sand Turns, goes for the Earthquake. Yeah, and Sonar should be able to tank it because it's a spread move. And, oof, the Dragon Shear crit boost, though. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. They do get the Intimidate off, but at this point, if this... Well, no, it can't be Scope Lens. So, oh, yeah, the Clear Ambit was knockoff, I'm saying. But also because this thing was also Scope Lens. So, it's only a 50% chance to crit, but as we showed in the last game, that is still a very good chance. Because this thing is parried, yeah, this thing is just going to go for Earthquakes. Doesn't get the crit, though. Flutter Mane does manage to hang on, but this is their last Pokemon, and because it was already parried, yeah, they still have T-Tar in the back, too. So, going to make this interesting with a Game 3. So, now at this point, Knicknom was like, you know what? I got to go for broke. I got to go for broke. So, they're going to lead right off with Articuno and Didi. They're like, you know what? let's show off this strat. I think we already won for the week. We might not have. I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure we had already won for the week. It's like, you know what? Let's do this. So, they're going to bring in young T-Tar. As I go for the Terra Psychic right off the bat. Go for the Follow Me. Expanding Force just immediately absolutely destroys this Gyarados. That thing is gone. No more Paras. No more nothing. They do have this T-Tar, which is in. But as you were going to see, what's going to happen here is that this +2 special attacking... how did they get the +2 special attack? I can't. Oh, competitive, duh, because they intimidated it. Very nice. Go for the double protect here. As just to scout what they're going for. They know they're going for Dazzling Gleam. I think, yeah. They just go for Expanding Force. And you're able to go for the Dazzling Gleam. Not do anything to this T-Tar as it goes for Rock Slide. But they are able to just barely hang on now. As Sandy's going to take it out. But all they have left is one more Pokemon. Being the extra drill here. Iron Hands, though, is going to be the target this turn. I'm surprised. Oh, they can't go for Fake Out because it's Psychic Terrain, duh. But they just go for Freezing Glare and immediately take him out. It's crazy. As they go for the Low Kick. And now all that they have to do is we just have we have a Landers here, and they cannot touch this thing. So they go for Knock. And yeah, they're just going to go for a nice Saint-Seer Storm and take him out. So that's GG's for the week. So in total, we actually got, I believe, 7, although technically one of them was 4 for wins. So out of the games we played, we won 6 out of 8, which is solid. So continuing to go off of that momentum from the previous week, the Spheal Aficionados are kicking things into high gear here. And yeah, so that being said, GG's to the Chiyu Cooks and all the opposing trainers on the other side. And that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.